Palantir came through with the goods on its earnings last night, and we are up 25% plus this morning on those shares, and it is just amazing. Today, however, we've got three Feds on deck, one starting in 20 minutes from the time of this recording, and then throughout the day, we've got two more coming to bring the hammer down on this market, as they like to do with their microphone. And then tomorrow, we've got four more Feds speaking. So get ready for some volatility if you weren't already used to that volatility from what's been going on with the trade war. If you were watching crypto over the weekend, you had a bad time. Yesterday was also a pretty bad time, but we're already starting to see that recovery. If you didn't panic, congratulations to you. That yesterday was definitely not the time to panic. It was potentially, at least from what we're seeing today, it was a buy opportunity. And now let's look at Palantir here. Look at that big old gap. We're way outside of everything here. Let's look at the weeklies here. Are we green on the weekly? I think we are. Yeah. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. Every time they get earnings, you get a big old candle like this, and it usually barely gives any of it back. So I wouldn't be surprised if we only went down into the 90s and then crawled back up even further. Now this time, I mean, oh man, I'd really like to see it come back down into like the 80s so I could sell covered calls all the way down to the 80s and then buy some more. I am really trying to accumulate some shares of this thing, but it just keeps going up. It's been really hard. I haven't been buying more. I've just been selling covered calls, collecting money, and waiting for an opportunity. And it looks like the only opportunity we're going to get in the near future potentially is $72 would be like the best at the 50 EMA there. That's probably the best opportunity you're going to get on Palantir anytime in the near future. As we continue to create like support going up higher and higher and higher every earnings date, and a lot of that is driven by their commercial growth, which has been amazing. So anyways, that's Palantir, and of course nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. I will say that I am up well over 300% on my Palantir shares. If you bought into Palantir when we started talking about it on this channel, you too would be up well over 300% on your shares of Palantir. I don't think they're going anywhere. I do think that 100 is a significant level that I'm kind of gets me real nervous with them being this high up, because I bought them at $20 like less than a year ago. So I'm a little like, ooh, I don't know. This seems very expensive, but I would like to see it come down, but it often doesn't. After the earnings, it doesn't come down much usually. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. There could be some issues with the government contracts. There could be some issues with, spending cuts and other things that might bring it back down to earth. We'll see. In terms of cryptos, let's go ahead and look at some cryptos. Bitcoin, even with that scare over the weekend, Bitcoin came down only to 91-ish, so it held the 90s. We've been up over $90,000 now since November. So we've been doing this for almost mid-November. So we've been doing this for 2.5 months. Another 2 weeks, we'll be up over $90 or $90,000 for 3 months. That's pretty exciting for Bitcoin. And I'm telling you, I think that means that a lot of our favorite miners are going to come out profitable in their Q4 report, and that's going to be really good for us. We know CleanSpark has their announcement this week. I believe it's on the 6th. I'll have to recheck that, but I believe it's on the 6th. And I believe they're going to likely be profitable, and possibly more profitable than expected, which should send their stock higher. If it doesn't, that is some shenanigans that I don't like. But you see, Bitcoin every time it gets down into this $90,000 range, big wick up, and then it piddles around $100,000. Maybe it dips back down, and then big wick up. People don't want this thing going under $90,000. At least not right now. At least not yet. When it breaks $90,000, we're going to be having a bad time. But until then, we'll be fine. Ethereum had a wicked drop over the weekend. It was down 7%, and then it went down as much as like 12%. ETH, which is the one I talked about last week, was down as much as 36% yesterday. That really sucked. But I did buy some more, and it is on its way crawling back up now, and I'm very excited about that. So if we go here to look at ETH real quick, yeah. That was a huge wicked drop. It was down 36% yesterday, and now we're up 6% today. But it went outside of the Watson envelope, and I'd like to see it crawl a little bit higher back up into here. It's like there's a huge gap. Ethereum had a real rough day, but I still hold strong with the idea that Ethereum will go up, considering that the sitting president of the United States holds a significant amount of Ethereum. I can't imagine that it's going to drop off with that being the case. So go ahead and chalk this up to volatility. I'm not sure exactly why it dropped so hard compared to its peers. Like Solana didn't drop that hard. Bitcoin didn't drop that hard. It dropped like a meme coin. Yeah, recently compared to its peers here, Ethereum did. So let's see that. I did pick up some XRP on this wicked wick here. That was yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday. I picked up some XRP around 250. And then, this was the wick. This was the one to buy up. I'm buying some long-term XRP. I'm going to hold it for a while. I think that they are making themselves integral into the government here, and I think that they are getting the ear of the government potentially being used for maybe some payment systems. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on with XRP. I don't have all the news there, but I do know that Brad Garlinghouse, who is a major player at Ripple, has been in talks with the government recently, and XRP is seen as the banker's coin. So we'll see if it stays that way going forward. That's could have been a huge buying opportunity with that big old wick on bottom. That's a bottoming candle if I've ever seen one from yesterday. So XRP, I'm expecting it to go higher from here on that one. Soxel is so it got absolutely decimated, right? Off the trade war, and now it's crawling back up. It's crawling back up. It really just needs to get back up to $30, and I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, even now I'm barely negative on this thing. It's doing this megaphone. It's doing the megaphone, and we came down, tapped the bottom with perfection. Beautiful. I want to see it come back up to this blue line. I'll be doing very, very, very well at this blue line, and even better at this green line. That's what we're looking for, okay? NVIDIA's having a comeback right now today. I am looking at it right now. I'm actually in a trade right now on NVIDIA. I'd like to see NVIDIA get back above the 200-day moving average and move up to at least 123 for the day trade. I might hold that for a day or two. The fact that this shading here is red is actually kind of bad. I wouldn't expect it to go much higher than 123, 124. Before starting to go sideways or down again on that. AMD has been suffering basically ever since I got in. I'm down to 30% on my position for AMD. My long dated calls. I have 1 year out calls on AMD. Those have been suffering lately. We'll see. I do still believe that AMD, especially with this earnings. I think earnings is that when is that? Oh, come on, click on it. Earnings is today in the evening. So if earnings comes out good for AMD, I would expect this thing to come back up at least into the mid 120s. Hopefully, we'll see if it can manage that. How much of a move would that be? Like 10% or something? It'd only be about 6-7%. So 6-7%, if off of good earnings is respectable and possible. We've been seeing that with some other stocks today, and you can see all the semis except Intel and Marvel and LRCX are all up today. ACMR is actually getting into a place I like. Qualcomm also still holding a place that I like right here. This is holding a really good place that I like right now. In fact, I might want to go long on Qualcomm right now, up to 180 potentially. This is looking like a nice little bull flag right there. Of course, nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. It's just what I think when I look at these charts. ACMR, I really like this as well. Same kind of holding pattern here. I can see this coming back up into this box up to 26, between $23 and $26 from where it currently is, which is only a $3 move, but on a small stock, it's not bad. It's not bad. VRT, I'm also watching VRT very, very, very closely. I am concerned about this cloud turning red here, so I am watching it. I want to see it get back above the 20-day EMA here at 115 before I'm super interested in it again. Let's take a look at some miners here. So miners have been not doing great, not doing so good, but they are holding up well considering Bitcoin's been kind of floundering back and forth. So that's been very nice and good there. They're not suffering as badly as I expected. Core Z is interesting to me at this point. So it was beneath the Watson envelope. That wasn't a bad time to pick it up. As you can see, it would have gone from 75 up to $13. That would have been a nice $3 move there. Right now, I'm not so sure if it's going to keep going or not. I'd like to see maybe even on a 2 or 4 hour. Let's see, maybe on a 4 hour. No, not a 4 hour. Let's say 2 hours. On a 2 hour, I'd like to see this red cloud here flip green, and then I'd be feeling pretty good about Core Z to go back up at least to this white line in the $16 range. But until then, I'm just watching until then. But I did say at some point, when something happened, we got a shock, we'd come back down to that level. And I'm very proud of that line, actually, of how much it just nailed it with perfection. Anyways, I think that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.